If you've been trying to quit a bad habit, whether it's something like porn, procrastination, junk food, endless scrolling, whatever, and it keeps showing up, you're probably focused on the wrong thing. The habit, it isn't your problem, okay? Your habit is a signal of a deeper problem. And that's what I want to help you get at today. Hi, my name is Mark Queppet, and I'm head coach over at Frontline Man. And I've been helping guys for over a decade on how to optimize their habits and reach their goals without relying on white knuckle willpower. And today I want to be tackling the issue of guys trying to eliminate their bad habits through just brute force discipline. This is something I see constantly. It's like a guy would come to me because he's got a porn problem, or he's got a scrolling problem, or a video game problem, or a marijuana problem, or whatever, okay? And a lot of times these guys are very high-performing dudes, and they kind of embarrassed that they got this issue. Like, man, I've been able to get so much stuff accomplished in my life, but I still got this, issue here, and it's really holding me back, and it makes me upset. It makes me feel like I don't have control. And typically, when they're trying to get rid of these things, they're coming at it from the mentality of like, how can I cut this thing out of my life? How can I, eliminate this problem, right? They see the bad habit as the core issue. And the reality is this is completely wrong, okay? Bad habits are not random. What they are is that they are coping mechanisms. They are responses to pain. And in particular, they are the response to the pain of unmet desires. So every time you're reaching for that bad habit, what's really going on is you're trying to soothe some deeper unmet desire. That's the key, okay? And when you can find that deeper unmet desire, you can identify it, you can understand it, and then you can start working toward fulfilling it, that is what will render the bad habit useless, and then you'll be able to throw it away. And sometimes you'll be able to do it almost naturally and effortlessly. Okay, so that's the big shift here. Is we don't want to try and kill the bad habit. We want to uncover what's driving the bad habit at its core. And I think this strategy is one of the biggest things that sets the Frontline Man program apart from other programs on discipline and habits. Is that we give you the framework to go really deep into surgically eliminating these issues at their core. So if you're interested in learning more about how we can do that, then I would recommend that you book a call with us by clicking the link below. So when I say this to guys, usually clicks with them. But then, obviously the next question is, well, how do I do that? How do I figure out what the heck this thing is that's driving my bad habit? And the simplest way to do it is like this, all right? Next time you get this craving, or maybe you can even just imagine, when you tend to, do the bad habit, okay? You want to figure out, if I couldn't act out in this habit, if I couldn't reach for porn, if I couldn't get high or whatever, what kind of pain would I be forced to deal with in this moment? What's the discomfort of my current psychological or circumstantial situation? And if you can identify that, usually it's pretty clear. So for a lot of guys, it's stress from work, right? They have a lot of pressure. They feel like they're not allowed to take a break because they're in this grind set mentality. And they're just feeling overwhelmed, right? They're just the desire, if they're going to go down into it, of that overwhelm, of that burnout, the desire is, I want a break. And since they don't give themselves permission to have a break, they don't give themselves, they haven't set up their life to be rejuvenating, then guess what? They're going to have to find some other way to do it. And their emotional mind will override their rational mind to get what it wants, as long as you keep ignoring it. It's kind of like your emotional mind is this big, massive beast inside of you. And it's very important because it's the big beast that we hook the wagon of our hopes and dreams to. And if we line it up properly, it'll pull us toward, all of our success. But the problem is if we neglect it, we treat it poorly, every once in a while, it's going to flip the cart. And that's generally what's happening here with a bad habit, is that our emotional mind's flipping the cart because we're ignoring what it wants. And so we got to learn how to work with it. So, that's all you got to do is if I couldn't act out right now, what would I be left wanting? And sometimes it's going to be something that you're going to have to dig into a little bit. And sometimes it's more than one thing. This is where it gets a little tricky. So, for example, a guy who has a porn problem, he can use porn to solve a lot of unmet desires. Maybe he uses it to get up in the morning because he has a bad sleep schedule. Okay. Maybe he uses it then to, de-stress during his workday because he doesn't know how to chill out. And then maybe he also uses it for romantic loneliness because his relationship with his wife is terrible. Okay. So it's like sometimes what you're going to find is that in order to really remove a bad habit, you're going to have to actually find several unmet desires and start working toward them. Now, some guys are going to say like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. And I don't think I think I know what my desires are and I don't even know if I can satisfy them. And here's the thing. You don't need to solve everything, right? Like say, for example, like your bad habits are driven because of romantic loneliness and, you don't see yourself finding a wife and getting married anytime soon. All right. So it's like, shoot, what am I supposed to do with that? Well, here's the thing is you don't need to solve the unmet desire in order to remove its, drive for the bad habit. All you have to do is honestly feel like you're moving toward satisfying the unmet desire. So for example, with that dating situation, it's like, yeah, maybe you won't get married or find the girlfriend or for a while, but could you start working toward it? Could you sincerely listen to that part that's like, I want romantic connection, and be like, yeah, you know what? I hear you, buddy. Yeah, we do want romantic connection. So we're going to start dating, or we're going to, hit the gym, or we're going to work on our social skills. We are going to take your goals seriously, a little part inside of me that I've been neglecting. I see you, I respect you, and I am going to get us moving in that direction. We're going to figure out a way to make some progress. And if you do that and you believe that you're doing that, that's all you need. Because the emotional mind, in some ways, it's actually really easy to satisfy. It just needs to feel like it's moving toward what it wants. It doesn't need to ultimately have it. It just needs to feel like it has a sense of hope and optimism that it can move toward it. That's it. And for guys who feel like, this is a little soft, right? Like, why am I listening to all these emotions? Can't I just buckle through and white knuckle and just eliminate this thing? It's like, listen, real toughness isn't about ignoring your pain. I think real toughness, particularly on the internal level, like the real front lines of life, is that part where your real desires lie. Can you confront your true desires? Are you brave enough to acknowledge the things that are actually happening in your heart and take responsibility for moving to create your best life possible? Can you really live in the presence of your actual desire? Or are you too afraid? Do you need to keep pushing it away? Do you keep needing to just white knuckle it? Because white knuckling really is just escapism. It's just saying, I don't want to actually look at what's going on inside of me. And I just want to try and pretend it's not a problem. And that if I just keep grinding forward, eventually the problem will disappear. That's just the same thing as putting your head in the sand. But when you realize that when you're meeting your real needs, okay, the bad habit will become unnecessary. Right? And you don't need to outmuscle that bad habit. You need to outgrow it. And that's through this personal development of finding your true desires and working to satisfy them. So if you're done fighting your bad habits and you're ready to finally solve the deeper problem underneath them, then book a call with us. All right? We'd love to help you uncover what you're truly craving and help you build a system that actually gets you there. So just click the link in the description and we'll have a great chat with you. All right. Look forward to hearing from you. That's all I have for you guys today. See you on the front lines. Be out.